So I just finished watching I, Mud. This is without a doubt the funniest episode I have seen so far. It opens up on a really great note. It's McCoy and Spock, and they're having a conversation in which McCoy is explaining to him about a crew member who he finds a little particularly weird, we should say, or something odd, something off about him, because this crew member does not show up for his appointments, and he said there's something odd about a man who doesn't smile and only talks about his work. And Spock is standing right next to him. That was so great because it really set the tone for what the rest of this episode was. So before I get into what I really, really loved about this episode, let me backtrack a little bit and talk about the plot. So this character that they're talking about is this guy named Norman, and we then find out very quickly that he is an android. And the crew goes down to the planet, and it's kind of a kidnapping situation, and when they're there, they find out that the leader of this planet is our favorite space pimp, Harry Mudd. Mudd is back, and I have to say, he is so much more developed of a character in this episode than he was the first time we met him in Mudd's Women. Like I said before, I thought the character was kind of neat, but the original episode was so-so, in my opinion. This time, they took that character and they brought him all the way up. They didn't hold back. This was full-on vaudeville the entire time. So he is now Mudd the First, and he is ruling over this planet of androids. And the androids have taken the Enterprise crew there because they are so fascinated with humans that they want them to study. And it's part of this deal to have Mudd released, and they'll take the crew of the Enterprise instead. Great setup. Really, really cool setup. Because we know from the first time we met Mudd that he is, like his name says, slimy. All the androids on this planet are built to serve humans, and they do a really great job with the androids in this. They got a whole bunch of different sets of twins to play the androids, and with a little bit of moving the cameras around and just some old style of techniques of cutting, it makes it look like there's more and more of them. And it's really cool to be able to see twins interact with each other and give us the idea that there's many androids out there. Yeah, it was just wonderful. Set up there, like I said, all looked good. Where this episode really shines is in the actors. This is a chance for them to break away from the seriousness that they have been doing for the last couple episodes, especially stuff like Doomsday Machine, which had no hysterical stuff in it as far as I recall, and that was a really serious episode. Here we get some really silly stuff, and it works great. One of my favorite parts is Mudd has an android built of his old wife, and he has her built for the sole purpose that he can tell her to shut up. He demonstrates it to Kirk. She's like sealed in this little room. He turns her on and she begins nagging at him and screaming at him and everything. And then it just gives him joy to be able to tell her to shut up, and then he shuts her down. I thought it was really witty. That really made me laugh hard. I think it also says something about the character of Mudd. What this man must have thought of his wife, and what he is as a person, that he despises this woman so much that he would duplicate her for the sole purpose of being able to shut her up. Wonderful. One of the other things is, other than for the Norman guy, all the other androids are women, and they're all, of course, scantily clad, 60s style. Real fun there, because Mudd is just kind of the space pimp again in that sense, and all these women are serving him. So we get a lot of this, and the crew is getting really enticed by them because all their desires are going to be filled. And there's a nice little bit with Uhura being offered the chance for immortality. And we see her kind of flirting with that idea. Wouldn't it be nice to be young forever? So the crew obviously has to escape. And now, while this isn't a really serious episode like Corbinite Maneuver or Doomsday Machine with everything riding on the line, they're still trapped. And yeah, it's a little tongue-in-cheek, but they got to get out of it. So they begin to basically mess with the androids. The androids, a lot like the Vulcans that we've seen, are very logical and everything's very regimented, and so they start messing with the android, and it is hysterical. I posted a video just a little bit before of an actual clip of part of what they do. That's kind of the finale to it. There's a whole, I would say almost 15-20 minutes of build-up, with probably another 10 minutes before this actual scene of some really hysterical stuff. There's this great scene of, well, first, Uhura really playing up the character as if she has betrayed the whole team. Great job there. And then we had this beautiful scene of McCoy and Scotty and Uhura and Chekhov dancing around, and it's I think it's Scotty and McCoy are pretending to play instruments. They're miming it with their hands, and Chekhov and Uhura are dancing, and they're talking about how beautiful the music is and how wonderful, and the androids are looking at each other like, there's no music, what are you talking about? And it's really just to see these actors have so much fun for it. It has this great vaudeville slapstick element to it. It's a little over the top. It's very hammy, without ever becoming ridiculous. And like, oh, I can't believe I'm watching this. This is really stupid. They keep it at just the right level because they still have a slight element of seriousness to it. That this is how they're going to get out of this prison. The dance scene, like I said, was really funny. And then we get to the whole build-up with the explosion and the liar paradox. And like I said, please go and watch the video I just posted of the actual scene. It's from CBS, so we don't have to worry about copyright stuff, and they're not going to send any assassins after me for putting it up. But you'll get an idea of it. And getting to see Mud team up with Kirk and crew is real fun. That while Kirk and Mud really don't like each other at all, Kirk just despises this guy, but not in a way that he wants to punish him in a like the way he would treat something like Khan. It's just like Mud is the ultimate thorn in your side. The dude really is just kind of harmless. We all know somebody like this, that just this bumbling idiot with always a get-rich-quick scheme, thinks he can outswindle anybody. So they team up, they beat the androids with the liar's paradox. It's real fun. They're getting ready to leave. Kirk decides that Mud is going to stay on the planet. They've reprogrammed all the androids to their original purpose, which was to help build a new sustainable planet. And Mud's going to stay behind and work with them because, you know, he still should be in prison from the first episode. And on top of that, Kirk has done something actually really great for him. He has given Mud a bunch of his own personal assistant androids. These androids are going to take care of Mud. They're going to do everything that he needs for him. And they created a whole bunch of them. And it's his wife's android. And they made 100 of them. And that's how the episode ends, is this poor dude is now surrounded by 100 models of his shrew of a wife. Oh, man. Oh, this woman, I don't even know the actress they got. And she only has, like, 30 seconds of dialogue, and she delivers it beautifully. So, that's the episode. It was so much fun. I am watching this one again. I actually, while I was watching the first time, rewound several scenes because they were so funny. This is just a hysterical episode, not just for a Star Trek, but for any television in general. I found this episode funnier than I find pretty much any sitcom that I've ever seen. So, that is I, Mud. Go out and watch it, and I will see you guys later.